Welcome back, everyone. We talk about a lot of pretty wild stuff on this show.
We do.
But I gotta say,
What's got you stumped?
this whole Jerusalem thing,
Yeah,
it's really got my head spinning.
it's a big one.
We've done deep dives before, but this time it feels different. Like we're trying to wrap our heads around a place that makes the pyramids look like Lego projects.
It's definitely a different scale.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the Urantia Book, our trusty guidebook for all things cosmic,
Always full of surprises.
it's giving us the inside scoop. And let me tell you, this Jerusalem place, it's not what I expected. Forget pearly gates and fluffy clouds. We're talking about a system capital.
More like a system metropolis, right?
Right, with its own laws of physics, unique life forms, and a level of organization that would put our cities to shame.
They've had a long time to work on it.
I guess so. And get this, it's divided into over 100,000 of these perfectly designed zones.
Zones, sectors, circles within circles.
It's like they took city planning and blasted it into a whole other dimension.
Well, they've got a lot of space to work with.
That they do. But speaking of space, the book mentions this thing called a Jerusalem mile, which is apparently 7 times longer than our measly Earth mile.
Makes sense, considering the scale of everything there.
Right. So how does anyone get around? Do they have, like, super speed walking shoes or something?
I think it goes beyond even our concept of speed.
Okay, now you've got to explain that
Look,
because...
they've mastered energy and transportation on a level we can barely comprehend.
Okay.
Imagine a society that doesn't think in terms of distances, but in energy signatures. It's like they've tapped into the very fabric of their world and can move effortlessly through it.
So instead of cars, it's all about...
It's more about understanding the natural energy currents that flow through Jerusalem.
energy currents. Okay, now you're just messing with me, right?
I wish I was making this up. But the book mentions these master physical controllers. Imagine beings who can manage energy on a planetary scale. Talk about renewable resources.
Hold on.
That is it.
So no traffic jams, no power outages. I'm starting to think this Jerusalem place might be onto something.
Right?
But if they don't have traditional days and nights like we do, what happens to all that energy? Is it just like permanently lit up like a disco ball?
Well, you have to remember they have those unique light cycles instead of a 24-hour day.
Right. They have what do they call it?
The quiet hour.
The quiet hour, yeah. But what triggers those shifts? And how do they tell time without a sun to track?
That's where the energy currents come in. Think of them like invisible rivers flowing through Jerusalem. These currents naturally fluctuate in intensity, creating those shifting light cycles. It's like their whole world breathes.
Okay, I can kind of picture that.
Yeah.
It's like a cosmic dimmer switch or something, right?
Yeah.
So imagine this. We're walking through Jerusalem,
Yeah.
right? This soft kind of diffused light all around us.
Mhm.
What else do we see? What's the landscape like?
Get ready for some serious wanderlust because Jerusalem has mountains that would make Everest look like a molehill.
No way.
And because of how Jerusalem is formed, they don't have earthquakes or erosion like we do. We're talking about mountains that have stood for, well, probably forever.
Mountains that never crumble.
Oh.
That's wild. Okay, what about water? Any oceans to surf in?
You're more likely to find a lake to sail on.
Lakes.
Yeah. Instead of vast oceans, they've got countless shimmering lakes all connected by crystal clear canals. And the coolest part, they don't even have rain.
No rain. So how do things grow?
During their quiet hour, a fine mist condenses in the air and settles over everything like a gentle, planet-wide dew.
It's like a spa day for the entire planet.
Exactly.
This is starting to sound less like an afterlife and more like a luxury vacation. But can we even breathe there? What's the air like?
This is where it gets really interesting. The Urantia book describes Jerusalem's atmosphere as having the same 3 basic gas components as Earth's atmosphere,
Oxygen and all that.
plus one more element that makes it breathable for us as material beings.
Okay, that makes sense, but what about...
But here's the real kicker.
what's that?
This unique atmosphere also supports what they call Urantia life forms, beings that exist somewhere between the material and the spiritual.
Urantia life forms. Okay, you're going to have to break that one down for me because I have no idea what that means. Urantia life forms. Okay, you're going to have to break that one down for me because I have no idea what that means.
Right, so Urantia life forms, they're like, it's kind of like this. On Earth, our atmosphere, it supports all kinds of life, right?
Like,
Plants, animals, the works. But imagine an atmosphere that's fine-tuned to support beings that aren't quite material, not quite spiritual either. They're somewhere in between.
okay, you've officially lost me. What does it even mean to exist between material and spiritual? Is that like being a ghost?
Not exactly. Think of it more like a transitional phase. You know, the Urantia book talks about how when we finish up here on Earth, our consciousness, our essence, it doesn't just poof, arrive at some final destination.
Right.
It goes through stages, kind of like a school. And Urantia life forms, they're further along in that schooling.
So they're like the senior class,
Mhm.
and we're down here in kindergarten still figuring out how to use the safety scissors.
Something like that. And this unique atmosphere with that extra gas element, it allows them to interact with both the material and this higher vibrational level.
Okay, so we're talking about beings who are tuned into dimensions that are beyond our understanding, like having a sixth sense, but 1,000 times more advanced.
Exactly. They can perceive things, interact with things that are completely beyond our grasp right now.
Yeah.
And that fourth element in the air, that's their key.
Wild. So, do we know what these Urantia beings look like? Are we talking angels with wings or something even more out there?
Well, the Urantia book does describe various types of Urantia life.
Really?
And each one has its own unique appearance, its own role to play in the grand scheme of things. Some are more ethereal, radiant. Others have forms that we might recognize, at least vaguely. But even then, trying to describe them with our limited language is like...
Like trying to explain the internet to a caveman.
Exactly. Her words just can't quite capture it.
I guess that makes sense.
They-
Okay, so we've got these advanced beings, a perfectly balanced ecosystem, a breathable atmosphere that's also some kind of cosmic energy drink for Urantia life forms.
It's a lot to take in.
It is. But let's talk housing. The Urantia book keeps mentioning these circles. What are those all about? Is that where everyone lives?
In a way, yes. Think of it as a city designed not just for living, but for spiritual growth.
So like a cosmic suburb. Do I get a yard?
Better than a yard. Each circle is dedicated to a specific group of beings and their unique purpose. It's like specialized neighborhoods.
Hold on. You're saying there's a neighborhood for angels? One for those Melchizedek guys we keep hearing about.
There are circles for ascending mortals like us, too, should we ever reach that stage.
Wait a minute, back up. We get our own spot on Jerusalem. Is it a guaranteed reservation or something? How does that work?
Think of it more as a potential destination. A possibility. It's not guaranteed, but the fact that it's attainable, that we have that potential.
That's pretty inspiring when you put it like that. But what are these circles actually like? Are we talking mansions, high-rise apartments? Give me the details.
Forget about earthly architecture. Imagine this. Each circle has 7 concentric rings, each one rising higher than the last. It creates this massive terraced effect.
Okay, that's pretty impressive. What are they made of?
Picture massive crystal walls shimmering under that soft, diffused light. And get this, the walls are pierced by thousands of these pearly gates, connecting each ring to the next.
Okay, now that's what I call an entrance. So what goes on in these circles? Is it all meditation and deep thought?
There's certainly a lot of that, but each circle is also bustling with activity related to its residents' unique roles. For example, the Melchizedek Circle. It's like a hub of education and guidance.
The Melchizedeks, right. Those cosmic mentors who always seem to pop up at just the right moment in the Urantia book. So their circle's like a giant library then.
More like a living library. They're these incredible beings constantly seeking knowledge, sharing wisdom, helping those who are ready to receive it.
So kind of like the librarians of the universe.
In a way, yes. And their role is crucial, especially for us ascending mortals trying to navigate the cosmos.
Makes sense. Okay, what about the angels? Are they really just hanging out on clouds playing harps all day? Give me the angel scoop.
I'm sure music is part of it. Remember how we talked about energy? Well, the Urantia book suggests that angels communicate and express themselves through forms of energy that we might experience as sound, even as light.
So they're like walking, talking light shows. I can get behind that.
Their circle is dedicated to various forms of spiritual ministry. Think of them as maintaining the delicate balance of the universe.
Spiritual ministry. Does that mean they're like organizing those fundraising dinners for the Cosmic Symphony or something?
Think more along the lines of ensuring that energy flows smoothly, that communication between realms remains open, that everything is aligned with the divine plan, I guess you could say.
Okay, that sounds like a pretty important job. No pressure there, right? But it makes you wonder, what other fascinating beings call Jerusalem home? Speaking of fascinating, what about those Spornagia creatures? You know, the part horse, part dog ones. What's the deal with them?
Ah, yes. The Spornagia. Now there's a testament to the creativity of the universe.
Seriously, I'm trying to picture it. A horse with the head of a golden retriever. Or maybe it's the other way around.
It's more about the essence, really. They have this incredible loyalty and intuition, like a dog, but combined with the strength and grace of a horse.
Okay, so Majestic, Andy, cuddly. Got it.
Yeah.
But what do they DO?
Have you ever seen a perfectly manicured garden and just thought, wow, how did they do that?
All the time. My thumbs are definitely not green.
Well, the Sponaja are like the master gardeners of Jerusalem. They have this innate ability to sense energy flows, to work with plant life on a level that's beyond our imagination. They shape those breathtaking landscapes we were talking about earlier.
So they're like the cosmic landscapers. That's actually a pretty cool gig. But wait, you said earlier they don't have individual souls like humans do.
Yeah.
Does that mean they're just robots going about their business with no real consciousness?
Not at all. They're an essential part of the Jerusalem ecosystem. And the Urantia book even hints that in some future universe age, they might evolve into something even greater.
Wow, so they're on their own journey, just like us. I love how the Urantia book throws these curveballs about life and consciousness. It's like the more you learn, the less you realize you actually know.
Exactly. And it opens up these incredible possibilities.
It really does. So we've talked about the circles, the different beings who live there. But there's one place on Jerusalem that's still a total mystery, the sealed temple. Even the Urantia book is tight-lipped about this one. What's the deal with that? Why all the secrecy?
The sealed temple. Yeah, that's the biggest enigma on Jerusalem, wouldn't you say?
Totally. What's the point of having this incredible advanced city if there's a whole section that's off limits? Even to the residents.
It makes you think.
It really does. What could possibly be so sacred, so top secret, that even those living on Jerusalem aren't allowed in?
The book describes it as a place of unimaginable sanctity. It's like a point of connection to realms so far beyond our understanding that even attempting to comprehend them would probably short-circuit our brains.
Okay, now I'm really curious.
Yeah.
But if the Urantia book doesn't tell us what's inside, how are we supposed to even begin to understand it?
Maybe that's the point. Maybe it's a reminder that no matter how advanced we become, how much we learn, there are always going to be mysteries.
The universe loves to keep us guessing, doesn't it?
It certainly does. It's like this never-ending story always unfolding. And just when we think we've got a handle on things,
Bam. Another mystery pops up. But I'm curious, with everything we've learned about Jerusalem so far, all the amazing beings, the advanced technology, the sheer scale of it all, how does this relate to us down here on Earth? It's incredible, don't get me wrong, but is it really relevant to our lives right now? It's incredible, don't get me wrong, but is it really relevant to our lives right now?
that's the question, isn't it? What does it all mean? It's easy to get swept away by the grandeur of it all, but the real magic is figuring out how this connects to us here and now on good ol' Earth.
Right. It can't just be about memorizing cosmic facts and saying, oh, that's nice. There's got to be more to it, right?
Absolutely. Think back to how we were talking about Jerusalem being like a cosmic university.
Yeah, with the Melchizedeks as the librarians and whatnot.
Exactly. But it's not just about the information they have. It's about the principles. Jerusalem embodies harmony, balance, service to others. These aren't just celestial buzzwords, you know?
So you're saying we can apply those principles to our lives right here, even though we're stuck dealing with traffic and taxes and all that jazz?
Think of it this way. If Jerusalem represents a higher level of existence, a more evolved way of being, then those principles are like guideposts on our own journey to get there.
Okay, I like where you're going with this. So you're saying that even amidst the chaos of everyday life, we can be working towards that Jerusalem ideal.
Exactly. It's not about instant perfection, more like taking those little steps, making choices that align with those higher principles.
It's like we're training for the cosmic Olympics and Jerusalem is the gold medal, right?
Love that analogy. We might be in the early stages of training, but every step we take towards those ideals of harmony, service, understanding, it brings us closer.
Makes you think about all those little choices we make every day, huh? Like maybe letting someone merge in traffic IS, part of the grand cosmic plan.
You never know. But seriously, the more we align ourselves with those Jerusalem principles, the more we're preparing ourselves for that level of existence, whether we realize it or not.
It's like we're tuning our own personal radios to pick up the cosmic frequency, right? The closer we get to that Jerusalem wavelength, the clearer the signal becomes.
Beautifully put. And who knows what other frequencies are out there waiting for us to tune in.
Right. Because if Jerusalem is just the beginning, if this incredible city is just one stop on the cosmic tour bus.
What else is out there?
Exactly. What wonders are we missing out on? I gotta say, even though we've barely scratched the surface of this whole Jerusalem thing,
Barely scratched the surface.
it's got me thinking about things in a whole new way. It's like, yeah, life on Earth can be messy and confusing and downright frustrating sometimes, but
But there's a bigger picture.
exactly. There's this whole other level of existence out there, this incredible potential waiting to be unlocked. And the best part is we get to be part of it.
We do. All of us.
That's a pretty amazing thought, isn't it? So to everyone listening, keep exploring, keep those questions coming, and most importantly, keep your minds open to the endless possibilities that await. Because who knows, maybe one day we'll all be sipping cosmic cocktails on the crystal promenades of Jerusalem, sharing stories about our journey here.
That's a deep dive I'd sign up for.
Me too. But until then, thanks for joining us on this incredible journey through the cosmos. We'll see you next time for another deep dive into the mysteries of the universe.